everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Monika Freeman. I typically share things short-term rentals and all Airbnb related. However, I want to let you into a different side of my business, which is Monika Freeman Studios. We are a luxury brand and creative agency, and today I want to just discuss if I were starting a brand, where I would start to be successful. Now, moving into 2023, a lot of people will be doubling down on their personal brands. So if you are one of those people, stay here because this video is definitely going to help you get you on the right path. Now, if you are here for Airbnb marketing, any short-term rental tips or house tours like these, I will be back with a new video soon, but I do want to integrate both of my businesses into this channel so that I can help teach you how to have multiple revenue streams as well. Today, let's start with if you are launching a brand tomorrow, where to start. Now, a lot of people launching a business know exactly what their product or service is, so they already know what that business looks like. But for some people, they are currently working a 9-to-5 and they're very ambitious and they want to join the entrepreneurship space and launch a business outside of that 9-to-5. They're ready to leave that security and start something exciting on their own, but they don't know where to start. Well, I have you covered. Tip number 1 today is niching down. Now, it's not always easy to find your niche because in a competitive market where everything is saturated, you might feel a little discouraged. But the great news is nothing is that saturated because everybody has a unique voice. So really, it's all about what you love and what you're passionate about and where those two talents come together. Because everybody, no matter what business you're in, is going to experience burnout at some point. So if you're gonna experience burnout, at least burn yourself out on something that you are extremely passionate about and you love. Because then the burnout will be temporary and you'll still come back to doing what you enjoy doing. You just might need to step back. So the way to find your specific niche is to really understand your talents and what your strengths are and what you can actually profit from versus what your passions are. Because if your talents are not the same as your passions, the two are never going to be married and make you successful. But it's getting very serious about one thing that you really enjoy. And you're not married to it forever. Yes, you do have to be consistent and show up and be an authority in a specific space. But once you gain that authority and loyalty and you are a brand that people trust, then you can actually add to that. So you don't need to think of a niche as like the end all be all, it's permanent, you can't change it. No, you absolutely can change it. In fact, you can add and build onto that as you grow. But to gain that audience that you're looking for right now in the beginning stages of your brand building, you really have to be specific about who your target audience is, which means you have to be specific about your niche. If you have not established your niche already, then I'm going to link a blog post down below for you to check out that will actually run you through a series of questions to help you establish your specific niche to get started today. Now, tip number 2 is about establishing your target market. And it's very imperative that you know who your target market is, because if you don't know who your target market is, you can never reach anybody because you're trying to reach everybody. And I know we've all heard that expression before, but it comes with a strategy. You really have to understand who is your hero. Your target market is your hero. Now, what are their pain points? What are they struggling with? What are their challenges? What do they need? What's relatable to them? How can you connect with them on an emotional level? Before you can ever launch a business and be successful and sell any product or service, you really have to understand the needs of your hero, aka your target market. Now, once you do that and you're building content around that, the market will dictate to you what your client looks like, because you'll start to gain interest and engagement and likes and people will start to inquire about your product or service. But in the beginning phases, it's really up to you to do the work. And I promise you'll thank me later if you do that work now. Tip number 3 is to research your competition. Now, keep in mind, this is not so that you can copy what they're doing. Everybody needs a unique voice in the market. However, if your competition is doing something right, it's great to learn by their examples and take what they're doing and put your own spin on it. There's always room for growth. There's always somebody out there that's got a great product, but they're maybe missing something in between. And if you can bridge that gap and give to your customers what they're not doing, then you can fill that void and attract more people. Now, we're not reinventing the wheel here, you guys. I'm not suggesting that you come up with something completely original, unique that no one's ever done. I'm suggesting you find something that someone else is doing that's working, but that could be tweaked and perfected a little and do it better. Because keep in mind, your voice is different. Your product and service, any offering that you have is different. You are your own unique individual. And people that resonate with your brand are going to come to you and want to purchase from you and sign up with you and buy from you and do all the things that encompass them being your client or customer. So keep in mind what someone else is doing that works can be a model for you to try to take examples from, but then you want to build onto that to make it unique to your specific brand and find your ideal target market, somebody that's meant for you. Tip number 4 is to define your brand personality. Now, the best way that I can articulate what a brand personality is and how you can establish yours is think of the first time that you met somebody. What was your first impression? That is exactly what people think when they see your brand for the first time. When they go to your website, when they go to your social media, when they hear your elevator pitch, they immediately are left with a certain feeling, an emotion, something that they resonate with your brand. How do you want to make your brand feel to people? What does the color feel like? What does the font look like? What are the pictures and the imagery, the infographics, the videos, the messaging, the offering? What does your whole personality feel like? Are you a humorous brand? Are you a luxury brand? Are you sophisticated? What kind of brand are you? Now, once you've established that, you're able to create content that's very humanized based on your brand's personality. So you're not just trying to be everything for everybody, but you're really specific about who you're targeting. If you think of your brand like a human and you identify its personality and you're very consistent with the brand messaging and the personality, you're going to attract people who like that personality and they're going to buy into that. If you are a personal brand, then you have to be true to your authentic personality and who you are, how you show up on social media, how you want to be perceived. Just like you're not going to attract your best friend if you're not being your authentic self, you're not going to attract your ideal client if you're not showing up as your ideal brand self. Tip number 5 is to build a user-friendly website. Now, I know that seems so simple, but you'd be surprised how many people complicate their website with overly beautiful design-centric websites that have a lot of copy, they don't lead to anything specific, and they kind of convolute their brand. In this case, less is more, you guys. And the reason why I say that is because you have a matter of seconds to attract your target audience and get them interested in what your offering is. But if they don't know what your offering is and they come onto your website and they don't feel a certain way, they're going to click off your website and find another brand that is offering them something that they're ready to buy into. So to keep your website as simple as possible, definitely have a call to action so everybody knows what your offering is, whether that's a product or service and who you serve. And it should be simple. Less is more. They can go through your website to find all the information they want, but to get them hooked, they need to know right away what that information is. And it's up to you to make that user-friendly website to help them understand exactly what it is, your offering is, and how you serve them, and how they can get that right now. Okay, you guys, tip number 6 is a plan and strategy. Now, your plan is going to be the thing that helps you get to your focus, and your strategy is going to be the blueprint that you create to drive out that focus. Without both of those two things, you will never be successful in business. However, you need the first 5 things before you can plan and strategize, because you have to know who you're planning and strategizing and what you're planning and strategizing for. I would suggest a quarterly plan and an annual plan, because when you're prepared, you can meet opportunity and create success. You know that thing called luck? That whole thing, success? It's when preparation meets opportunity, you guys, but you can't have preparation and opportunity if you haven't planned in advance. And in order to plan in advance, you have to have a strategy. And your strategy is basically a series of funnels that lead you to whatever it is you're trying to do. And in this case, I'm guessing if you're launching a business, you're trying to sell something. So your strategy needs to help you close that deal. And you're never going to see success if you don't have a strategy, because nobody knows what your offering is. Funnels is the best way to do that, and funnels requires a plan and a strategy. Okay, you guys, tip number 7 is creating content, and everybody in digital media or anybody who owns a business has to show up and create content. The beautiful thing about tip number 6 is that once you know what your plan and strategy is, you can create that content and be very consistent and post regularly and convert. All we want to do is convert, because at the end of the day, our business is driven to make people happy, to serve our audience, to give back to our hero, and to basically close a deal and make us successful. by giving them what they need. This is a give and take. A business is a give and take, you guys. So in order to do that, you have to create content that they want to take, that they want to keep, that they want to value, that they want to engage with, like, support, be inspired by, anything that's going to help them click on your offering and purchase that thing. So make sure that when you're creating content, you're being very intentional and you're taking into mind tip number 6, your plan and strategy. And last but not least is tip number 8, which is honestly tip number 1, and that is to serve your community. You have to look at your business as a tool that is providing for other people. Because in order to have a sustainable, successful business, you have to constantly be serving your hero. What do they need? How do we make their life easier? How do we provide for them? How do we give back to them? How do we show up for them? Every single aspect of your business is about serving. And that's such a beautiful feeling, you guys, being able to provide something to somebody who really needs it and help them. So if you look at everything backwards and we start with who are we serving and how do we serve them and all the things you have to do to get there, then you're going to win. And not only that, it's going to be reciprocal. They're going to be so happy that they got what they needed and their solution has been solved. You're going to be so happy that you were the brand that was able to serve them. And it's a win-win. It's really a beautiful thing. Being in business is a give and take, how you can help people and how they can help you. And I promise you, when you start with serving your community, you're going to reap the rewards of that. And you will be so happy that you did. I hope that you guys liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe for more tips. If you have anything specifically you want to know about how to launch a personal brand, content creation, or anything related to business, please drop it down in the comments down below and I will try to get to each and every one of those. In the meantime, congrats on deciding to be an entrepreneur and launch your business. And I cannot wait to see all of your success in 2023.